is going on, everybody? This is Will Talk Entertainment here. We are out at Blythe Landing in Lake Norman for our pop-up meet. This is our first and probably might be our only show for the year. Right now people are coming in, they're still rolling in. It's about 9:16 and we're gonna, as we said in our in our marketing and in our IG and flyer, we said we were going to have some special guests come through today. And this dude he's special to the car community. And he's been around for a while now. He started his channel. He started a small channel. He started with an RT, and his channel blew up. Now he's the man in these parts. There's no line, there's no doubt about it. But I'm going to introduce you to him, and he doesn't need much of an introduction. If you've been following my channel, you've been following any automotive vlogs from the Charlotte metro area. Come in the picture. Come and have a seat, my man. We got Rubik's _3 here. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on IG. You could also find me on Instagram as Will Talk Entertainment. You can find me on Facebook as Will Talk Entertainment, and I'm also have a YouTube channel, Will Talk Entertainment. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you guys. We both appreciate you, for sure. Because without you guys, there's no reason to do this. So we appreciate you for tuning in and hitting up our channels and tapping in on a weekly basis. Little housekeeping. If you want to be on the podcast and you have a compelling story about you, your car, hit up my website, Will Talk ENT. That's www.willtalkent.com. And I will get the message and we can set something up. And you can also be on a podcast if you're interested. But man, thank you for coming through, man. Having me, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate having me, man.
Man, as I was telling folks, you started your channel with an RT. I came in, I'm late in the game. I'm a newbie. So basically, you're the younger crowd. Y'all teaching me new tricks about social media and how to brand and put yourself out there. But you were one of the early adopters because there weren't that many RTs. I mean, the people had Mopar, but yeah. I mean, you took it to another level just by your being authentic and being yourself. Tell us how this came about, man. How did you, what made you want to become part of the car scene? What made you become a car enthusiast?
It's like, I feel like my story is like the same as a lot of people. Being a kid, you're a kid, you play with these Hot Wheels and stuff. I had the Hot Wheel tracks, all that, a whole bunch of Hot Wheel cars, like a lot of them. So I had all the cars and stuff like that, and then I played a lot of video games with cars, a lot of racing games and stuff like that. And then kind of like one of the first racing, well, not one of the first racing games, but one of the race games I remember that stood out in my mind is Need for Speed. Like a lot of people's played Need for Speed, but
I remember
I'm probably showing my age a little bit, but I played the first Need for Speed, and I remember all the cars that was on there, and that kind of stuck out to me as well. And also I had the car posters and stuff on my wall, so I had the different cars and stuff like that. So it's been brewing since I was a kid, man. And then you have your bike, you do stuff with your bike,
right?
You do mod that a little bit, what you can do with cardboard and but it's been, I feel like it's been a lifelong thing, just something that started as a kid and just grew with me with age and stuff like that.
Right. And then come fast forward several years later, now we came into the net, and I didn't think this was going to happen. The second age, I call it the second coming of the muscle car age. We used to hear about, I grew up in the 70s. I caught the tail end of the last muscle car age, which was, we had the big body, Chevys, Fords, and Chrysler and Plymouth.
Right.
And that went away because of emission standards, and then you had come through the 80s. There wasn't a whole lot out there. 20 years later, here we are with Mopar comes back on the scene with the Challenger. What was the first time you saw that Challenger?
First time I saw one had to be around, I think it was when they first came back out in 2008, because I remember when the Chargers first came back out. I remember seeing those, and then I remember the Charger around like 2008 when I started seeing those a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
At the point, I'm like, something about the car just looks different from a lot of other cars. Like I'm used to seeing the cars from around that time. Like I remember like Camaro came back with
Right.
they came back, Chevy came out with the Camaro and all that type of stuff. But then I saw this car, it was like, something about it's different. It looks new, but it looks retro at the same time.
Yes.
Now I grew up in the '80s,
Yeah.
so I was a little baby in the '80s, so I missed the golden era of all the muscle cars and stuff like that. So seeing that car, I'm like, that's different. That doesn't look like everything else on the road. So that kind of caught my attention from there. Of course, at the time I wasn't in a position to get one, but because I was still in college at the time.
Sure,
but now I'm really showing my age now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that looks different. Like different, looks interesting and stuff. And it always stood out to me ever since then. I know at the time, I think the cars that were popular at the time was the Charger and the Magnum.
Right.
At my job, I used to work doing like audio installations when I was in college and stuff. I had people come in with Chargers and Magnums and things like that. So I always got to see them up close, even Camaros and stuff like that. So I got to see those up close a good bit. And of course, I had my own car that I did stuff to at that time and whatnot. But yeah, that really was the first time I really saw one. It really stood out to me just because of the style of it.
Yeah, and I remember, I'm just like you. I saw it at the 2006 New York Car Show, the orange one.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So if you're our age, you remember they had that orange. It was considered a concept car at the time. It was an orange Challenger, and I remember I was at work. You know, when you at work surfing, you know, having during your lunch break, and I saw that, and I remember saying to my girlfriend at the time, I'm gonna own that car one day, because I just saw it and I immediately fell in love with it because I knew what they were trying to do. It was the best looking muscle car with the retro look that I've ever seen. And so here we are today. As you see, I've had several of them. I can't, Mopar's like cocaine. It's like, it's just, you try to say you move away and do something different. It's like keeps calling you back.
Yes.
And I was like, and then my fiance, she called me Pookie. That's what she nicknamed me Pookie, because she's like, you just can't get away from that. I was like, how can you? With that look, that power and that muscle. Now, granted, we have all these different trim lines.
Right.
What made you start out with the RT? Is it just because you I know it sounds great and they were affordable too. Let's not.
Yeah.
Is that what made you start out?
So what made me start out with it? So I had a car that I was modding when I was in college and stuff like that. It was a Chevy Caprice, so I did some stuff like that. I talked about it a little bit on my channel, and then from there I kind of went low key a little bit. I went to a Nissan Altima, and it was just something,
Altima Energy.
Yeah, but I had a 3.5 liter, so I had the big boy Altima.
Yeah.
I had the SRT Altima.
You didn't think about getting the R?
No, because I got a 2008, didn't have the R. Well, actually, I had the SR.
I think did they stop the R by then?
I think so.
I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did, because I had the SR which came with the which had the 3.5 liter engine. It was pretty quick for what it was. I mean, but it was just something low key and somewhat good on gas, being at a V6 at the time and stuff like that. But then I was driving that. It was like, man, I want something fun to drive. And my only requirement at that time was I was thinking a lot about this. I was like, I really want a Challenger. I want a Challenger. I want a V8, and I want it to be a 6-speed because and you can attest to this. When we grew up, anything that was a sports car or high performance car had gated manual transmissions. Yes. It was always that. Like no matter what, you can look back at the old Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, gated manual transmission, and that kind of set it apart from being like a regular car versus a sports car. No times have changed, and it's kind of different from now. But then that was kind of like the standard at the point. So I was like, I gotta have a manual. It's gotta be a V8 manual. I'm not gonna buy anything else. I want that, right? So. Also on top of that, this was really before a lot of people really got into the Mopar scene really heavy as it is now. I knew a lot of people with Camaros. I didn't want to even step into a Camaro. Ford never really spoke to me like that. So nothing about Ford really appeased me, whatever. It was always a Challenger that I wanted to go with, and ended up getting the RT. I looked at a couple, and I almost bought a 2013, but I actually bought mine brand new, a 2015 RT. Fresh off the dealership, or fresh with the new redesign and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is it. And it's been a blast to drive when I had it.
Yeah, you know what? Your car actually made me want to get an RT, because when I heard the RTs, and so the other thing that made me want to get an RT too, because in 2018, I don't know what they did. I can't remember what they did, what Dodge did, but remember the 18 sounded a lot different than they did before. They were a lot louder. So when I heard that engine, man, it was intoxicating. And it was funny because the salesman at the time said, "You sure you don't want to test drive a 392?" I'm like, nah, I like it. I like this RT. And I shouldn't test drove the 392. That was a mistake. Yeah, it's the same mistake. And but you know, the RT is a great. I look at it as like a gateway into Mopar.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also a sleeper because you can do so much to it.
That is true.
To the engine because it's using the same intakes as the 392, and there's so many things you can do with the 5.7 that you can't do with the Scats. But it's a great all-around daily car.
It is.
That was your daily too.
Yeah,
if
it
I'm not
was.
mistaken. So you really drove your car.
Yeah,
That wasn't no
I drove
garage
it a lot.
queen.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And the other thing that people also don't realize, and I know you bring it up on the channel every now and then, but you're a father too.
Yep.
And that is, to me, I give you props, man, because I work full time. I know you work full time, and I'm trying to, you try to manage the car scene, the YouTube life, and juggle all of that. How the heck do you do it with 2 kids?
Man, it is. Sometimes I wonder too, but it's literally a lot of the stuff I do is like late at night. Like, I stay up in and do a lot of the stuff like far as editing videos. I've been real creative when I shoot videos. A lot of times I may be shooting videos coming from work. So if I'm leaving work, I may shoot a video from work. So if you're watching my channel,
and
you
do
see
the car
vlog.
Yeah,
I'm doing a car vlog and I'm driving from work.
Those are my favorite videos.
Oh yes, it be crazy stuff happening on there. I be getting road rage and stuff sometimes.
Yeah, that damn truck that popped out in front of you. I'm like, oh, I was sitting there watching the video. I'm like, oh, watch this truck just pop out in front of you, and he looking at you like you did something.
Right, and then a lot of times I record multiple videos at a time, so sometimes I'll record like 3 and 4 videos at a time when I have some free time, and then late at night, when everybody's asleep, when the kids are down for sleep or down, in the bed or whatnot, then I go get my videos edited and upload and stuff like that. So I try my best to make sure like what I do doesn't interfere with what they got going on. It's been plenty of car shows, car events I missed because I'm with the kids somewhere and whatnot. But it's all good.
But that's natural too.
Yeah.
But Matt, the little one, he's starting cars now, and he was just out here with Mom, and he's already pointing out, well, that's a Mustang. That's a yellow Mustang. I'm like, when I was his age, I didn't even know what color, what car was what. He's already pointing them out.
Yes.
And can identify what the car is, what color it is.
Yes.
How old is he?
He will be 4 at the end of November. I'm not lying.
See, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. At 4 years old, he can identify what type of car it is.
Yep.
And what color it is. And then before you know it, within another couple of years, he's probably going to tell you what engine is in there too.
Oh, so when we go to car rents now, he looks at like, you see the engine? You see the engine? The exhaust, you see the exhaust? And now he's addicted to what he wants to do. Like anytime I get the car to the garage and stuff, he wants to start the car. And so I give him my key fob and let him hit the button to start it. He'll run to the back of the car and look at it, and he starts going crazy when he hears the car start and stuff like that.
Isn't it crazy how advanced these kids are now with social media? And it's all about what you introduce them to. That's why it's so important to introduce them into things that at a young age.
Right.
But that's amazing, man. That's really amazing. Look who's popping in over here.
What's up, man?
What's good,
Willie, man.
Chill Will. We got
Chill
Chill
Will.
Chill Will from Chill Will Racing is here. He's popping in.
Oh, you recording, man?
Yeah, no, you good, man. You always good.
I thought y'all was freelancers, just kind of talking. Think what it is then, okay? Right.
Hey, yo, check out Chill Will Racing on IG. Where else are you? You're on
IG, YouTube,
YouTube, Facebook.
For sure.
This man is he's a heck of a dude, man, and he does a lot for the community, and we appreciate him. So just go check out his content, check out his stuff, and also keep on the lookout because I think you got another show coming up.
Got one coming up, yeah. Stay tuned. I'm about to announce it probably next week.
All right.
For
So you
sure.
heard it from the man.
Y'all be safe. Okay.
All right, brother.
Be
All
good,
right.
bro.
Okay,
All right,
baby.
man.
All right.
But back to your scheduled program. But the RT and the YouTube channel was just, if there's a blueprint, in my opinion, to how to do a YouTube channel, I feel like yours is the blueprint. And I say that because you're a normal person, just like everybody else out there. You work, you got a family, but the way you do your mods, you do them incrementally, right? And then you give, and their mods, you go for the best bang for your buck. Because look, I mean, when I look at your Torrid wide body Charger, I mean, I'm looking at them. Every time I see it, it looks different, and you do it subtly, but it's not. You know, you don't go too crazy with the colors and everything. It still looks great, but the mods are a perfect fit for the way you know, for the car. And you do your mods you really think out what you do for your mods. If you get a chance, go look at his video on exhaust and the amount of research he did on the exhaust. And when you hear that car start up, I was just like, that's my man right there. He'll find you the best bang for your buck for the mod that you want for your car. And I think that is crucial in today's age where everything is so expensive.
Yeah.
But you do it in a realistic way. You manage your channel in a realistic way, and I like it. And that's kind of why I think a lot of people should follow that way, especially if you don't. Not everybody comes into money. How did you? When you do a mod, what are your thoughts when you're about to do a mod? What are you thinking?
So the way I think about a mod, the way I would think about getting a tattoo.
Right.
So I don't think of a mod, I automatically just go buy it.
Right.
Before I even think about putting the mod on my car, I say, okay, I want this done in my car, and then I wait a while, maybe a month or so, and like, do I still feel the same way about getting this mod on my car?
Right.
So I don't say I just run out and just get a mod because I want to get one. I really think in advance, like, okay, I want to do this, and this is why I want to do it.
Right.
Wait a little bit. Do I still feel the same way? If I still feel the same way, then I pull the trigger and do that type of thing. So it's never something that on a whim, like I'm just looking around and like, oh, I'm gonna go buy this, I'm gonna go buy that. I really do think I put a lot of thought in what I want to do, and I think about like how it's gonna tie into what I maybe want to do next and things like that. So
and we appreciate that because again, you know, these mods aren't cheap, especially on these Chargers and Challengers. Everything with them is expensive,
right.
So you know it's important to have somebody that's giving people real information, real good and useful information, and I feel that you do that. You put people on the right track. The last call. We know we know the controversy with the last call. I feel like Dodge. Like I said, we're Mopar guys, but I also feel like Dodge is setting us up.
I agree,
and I feel like, you know, when I look at what they've come out with, and I'm looking at, I'm like, all right, you got the King Daytona, you got the shaker package, you got, you know, the swing edition, and I'm saying to myself, are any of these cars going to be under 80 grand?
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I feel like with a lot of the last call cars, like it pretty much, and everybody's been saying things, it's a parts bin sale. And we're both Dodge guys.
Right.
We can appreciate the cars for what they are, but at the end of the day, there's nothing really outside of the graphics. That's pretty much what you're getting with the cars. And personally, I'm disappointed about that, especially with the Hellcats and stuff they came out with. Well, one they just came out with, then they're gonna drop another one later this week.
Right.
They feel like there's so many opportunities they could have capitalized on easily, even if they wasn't planning on developing something new. And I feel like they've been on the same track for quite some time. Like if you really think about it, really think hard about what they've done lately.
Yeah.
The last car that I feel like they came out with that was something that was totally brand new from the ground up is the Challenger Demon.
Yeah.
And I can break it down to you because that was I think first car that came with the wide body, first car with the drag mode, first car with the high output 6.2 liter engine. And they really think about every car after that, it's pretty much just been variants for that particular car. The Scat Pack's got the wide body because of the Demon. You got the Red Eye engine, which is literally the Demon engine with a different tune on it. The Super Stock engine is literally the Demon engine with a different tune on it. The Super Stock is pretty much a Demon. Camera went off, it's all right. The Super Stock is pretty much a Demon without the race mode,
right.
The race gas option in it. So they really been doing this for quite some time, and now
right.
they're getting to the end of the life of the Hemi, and it's kind of like, it's just like everything must go type of thing. And kind of there was some stuff they could have did. I do plan on making a video about that if y'all want to check it out in the future. But I mean, if you want something that's going to be a collector's item, then definitely go for it. But other than that, if you just want to buy a Hemi, you don't need to buy one of those last call models.
Yeah, I would just say, and again, if you go back to our video, that we did together, you need to put your order in when it opens up in October. Like the minute it opens in October, you got to put your order in, because it's going to close by the end of December, because there's only so many allocations, and all those allocations may not get picked up.
Right, that is true.
So, you know, if you're out there and you're interested in owning one of these cars, I'd say go ahead and get ready, figure out what you want to do, plan, because if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And that's never been more true than now with the Hemis going away.
Because they will, because if you do your order too late, there's nothing to say you can go to a dealership, put your deposit down, put your order in. That doesn't mean you're getting the car. That just means when the allocation opens up for you to get your car, then you'll be in line to get it at that point. I've had plenty of people on my channel make comments saying they did an order in 2021, they did it late in 2021, and they canceled their order because of the fact that they did the order too late. So, you don't want to miss your opportunity to do that.
So get in on it while you still can. Thoughts on the new EV?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, thoughts on the new EV?
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever driven an EV?
I have not.
Okay.
Do Power Wheels count? Okay, I'm joking.
And I say that because I know a lot of people have a lot to say about EVs, and I said, you know, what was that commercial? I think it was Ford. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Yeah, I remember that.
Back in the day.
Yep.
It's like, have you driven an EV lately? And I tell people, before you say anything, you really need to go and see if you can test drive an EV. The instant torque is there's nothing that can compare to that. But to me, it's not so much about the EV for me as it's much about how they're going about it.
Right. Me too. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
And the execution, to me, I feel like it's like cold turkey. They're going from V8s, cut it off, straight EV. And the thing that's missing in between that, you can definitely do hybrids. If you can go from a V8, and if you don't want to go, if you got to make things more fuel efficient, then the next step is a hybrid. It's a hybrid. So that way you have the option where you don't have to solely rely on charging your car at the time. You can still run gasoline, but now you have the option to switch back and forth. And the thing about it, a lot of people don't realize is some of those high-end cars, they are hybrids. Like like if you think about it, I'm gonna go to extreme example here. F1. I don't know if you watch F1 now.
Absolutely. Those are hybrids.
The F1 cars are 6 liters twin turbo hybrids. Not twin turbo. Or they might be twin turbo, but they're turbo hybrids. Like you can literally still have a car that can run on gas and give you the best of both worlds at that point. So that's my only thing about it. Like I feel like there needs to be a crossover point. We don't need to be a cold turkey stop and then we go straight EV. We can definitely ease into it and do a hybrid like other companies that do it. Even Mopar is doing it. They have a hybrid Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, the 4xe.
Yeah, they have a
plug in and it uses gas. Yeah. And it's it's hot. They can't keep them on the lots.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds. You got to
and with the hybrid, and for a lot of y'all that don't know this, you still get the tax credit if you do the hybrid. So I think with the Wrangler, the 4xe, I think it was a $7,500 tax rebate, tax credit. So that, to me, if they do that, that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent coming with power dollars.
Right.
Which is, I'm totally 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Because then you get that tax credit, so you're not putting any, you're not squeezing people price-wise, whereas now everything that's coming out is going to be 80 to 100 grand.
Exactly. And on top of that, like even I think Chevy's, they're coming out with their CA, I think it's the Zora or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, like you can definitely go a hybrid, which is going to be better than the V8 as far as efficiency, but you still got that best of both worlds. I feel like you don't need to just jump all the way straight to a full electric car. There's some in between there, right? And there's a lot of and I don't own an EV, I never driven one, but just as far as what I understand with, I mean, there's still gonna be some drawbacks. I mean, if everybody's going electric, and you have
the grid needs to be upgraded, and the one thing that people don't realize, some people may not realize, you gotta have a house.
Yes, I'm literally just talking about that. We thankful to have a house, and if I had one, I just put my car in the garage and charge it up.
Right.
But if you stay in an apartment, and let's say everybody in your apartment complex has an EV, are we going to build chargers for each parking spot?
Yeah.
Like, that's going. I mean, it's already ridiculous. Imagine having to pay for a charger for each parking spot on top of your apartment.
Yeah.
On top of that. So.
We got another special guest here that just popped in. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, when Mama Prep gives orders, you just follow it. That's all I do. I don't. I'm just like, I'm telling her, she's like, hey, you know who? let me just stay in my lane.
Yeah,
but I.
up, so I'm gonna move the car down now.
Okay. That's Prep's mom over there. So you're like, hey. He says when she says something, we move. That's just how we talk. That's how we deal with our elders. We're old school like that. But getting back to the EV, man, I didn't like what they did, the way they did it. They pranced the EV out there, and it's sound like a little cat, and they're revving the engine, and they didn't give you any numbers or any specifications on it, and I get it. I see why they did it, because of course they don't want people to just not buy anything for the last year. So I get why they did it from a business perspective. That's a BRC.
Yeah. They always have that
distinctive sound.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been a couple of those on popping up lately, and I mean, if you think about it, under 40 grand, you can mod it.
Yep.
They're easy to mod, and you get good power out, and they're light.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't like the way that they went about it, and I hope they learned a lesson based on the feedback that they get.
Yeah.
We'll see. We got Preston coming up, so I'm curious to hear his take on it, because he's in the middle of it. He's working with Dodge right now, but we'll see. There's a lot still to happen with regards to the EV, with regards to Stellantis, and you think you'll get one eventually, or?
I'll put it like this, and this will put exactly where I stand. If I had to get an EV right now, then I would get a Dodge EV.
Okay.
Right now, if I had to get an EV, if you gave me a choice between an EV and a Hellcat Red Eye, give me the Hellcat Red Eye. 10 times out of 10. That should put where I'm saying. I feel like my biggest gripe with EVs, a lot of times people, like companies, they design the EVs to all look the same. They all look like a teardrop.
Right.
Like they all have that same shape to them. They all are going after that Tesla shape. Like the Mach-E from Ford, it's from the front, it looks like a Tesla. And a lot of the EVs.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's a little.
To me, it gives me Tesla.
Yeah,
vibe.
it does. You know why?
I
see why. I see where you're going, because it does look a little like the Model Y.
Yeah.
That's why.
And then some of the other EVs, they go so far to make it look like a spaceship.
Right.
Like that what turns me off. You don't have to make an EV look like a spaceship. Like you can make an EV look like a normal car.
Right.
But and that's one of the things that turned me off about it. So hopefully, we know with Dodge that was just a concept. So they're not even coming out with that car themselves. Hopefully they take some of that feedback and make the car look a little bit more.
I'll say widen it, make it look more like the 68, 69 Charger.
Yeah.
Give it that Charger look. But how about they come out with a carbon fiber Charger? All carbon fiber. I'm looking at this, I'm like, now that's a couple hundred G's right there.
Yeah,
Easily, because whenever you start getting into carbon fiber, that's a whole nother ball game. And you're putting it on an old school Charger.
So every piece on that is custom handmade, pretty much.
I was like, I said, that's why I said Dodge is a lifestyle now. It's like they say you got to pay to play. That's basically what they're telling us.
Yep.
But man, I appreciate you coming on to the podcast. This is awesome, man. Having Rubik's _3 on my podcast. Because like I said, you've inspired a whole generation of YouTubers. And the thing that I love about your channel is you make people believe that they can do it too, because of the way you do your channel. And that's huge in this day and age, because you see these YouTubers, I see them spending money like it's crazy. I'm like, okay, you're doing the same mod that everybody else is doing, but it's not really thought out, because they'll do the mod and all of a sudden I gotta get rid of that mod. I didn't like it. But then, it's not really well thought out.
Yeah.
It's just you tune it for grab of views.
Yeah, and the thing is with my YouTube channel, like I don't like any mod I do to my car. It's a mod I would have did regardless with YouTube.
Right.
Like when I first started my YouTube channel with my RT, I literally had probably about 80-90% of my mods done to my car already. So it wasn't.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah,
You didn't start from the ground up. You actually started it later after you got your RT.
Yeah, I had the RT. Well, I bought it in 2015. I didn't start my channel until like 2019 or something like that. So a lot of my mods were already done.
Was it that? It's 2019. I thought it was.
Yeah, well, in 2019 I wasn't. This what it was. And I technically started in 2019, but I really didn't do a lot of videos in 2019.
Okay.
I didn't really get serious about it in 2020. I'm like, I literally could put out more videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, then I start getting real serious about putting out videos more frequently and stuff like that. And that's another thing. I think a lot of people, and this is my advice when it comes to YouTube, a lot of people, the car that you buy, that you have, you don't have to get a certain car to be good on YouTube. You can have a V6. It doesn't matter. The car does. I see people think,
Knockout started with a
V6,
rally V6.
A V6. And the thing, and he did some mods to it, but most of his videos were just talking about information, which anybody can do. Like anybody can do that. You don't have like I can sell my car tomorrow, and I can still probably have a channel. I just won't be doing mods or anything like that, but I can still talk Dodge with and talk cars with people, right?
Right.
And a lot of people get discouraged about like numbers and how many. Like,
Forget the numbers.
Yeah, just like you got, honestly, like it's a learning thing. Like you learn along the way. You figure out like, okay, if I do this video, I may get a lot of views. Okay, I did this video, but I didn't get a lot of views for that. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning what works and what doesn't work.
And
so,
you know, I'm pretty much fresh to this. I started like you in 19, but I really didn't get serious till 2021. So, I mean, it's possible. You can do it. You just have to be consistent with it.
For sure.
But man, thank you so much for being part of the podcast, and you know, we definitely. We're in trouble now. We're in trouble. You know, but the donut maker just rolled through here. With his Hellcat Y body. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. For sure. We're gonna get set up and get Preston on here. Thank you for tuning in, and hey, go check out Rubik's channel, his YouTube channel. You can catch him on IG. Check out his videos. His videos are hella dope. So, you know, tune in, and also tune into mine. Share our videos.
For sure.
Share our videos with everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. All right. That was good.
Yeah, for sure. My camera died. It's all good.